To get involved, Peter, take us there.
So we're about to kick things off. I mean, listen, look, Arsenal stole a draw from the jaws of defeat at Stamford Bridge. 2-2, Chelsea and Arsenal. A game which, man, to all the people in the comments, you lot know what my thoughts were pre-match, and you lot know exactly what I thought should happen. I was fuming at this game. I was hot because...
You was what?
Because fuming. I was absolutely fuming because...
Were you at the game? Were you live?
No, I wasn't there. And thankfully, I didn't get to see it live. But my God, I was hot because Chelsea are not that good. Chelsea will get beat by many teams this season. We've seen it happen already. Oscar, you're going to have your turn. You're going to have your turn. Your team is dead. It was actually a poor game, really, when you think about the actual game itself. Chelsea's best performance probably this season, and that probably tells you everything you need to know about them. Okay, and you look at the goals that they score, you look at the penalty decision that was given, you look at even the fact that Arsenal decide to rock up to Stamford Bridge, right? And they need to do the job. Like, I understand, even the confidence I had, the players clearly came with that kind of swagger of we're gonna rock up and see do what we need to do. They did not turn up at all, and that you can't do in the Premier League. It doesn't matter if you're playing Chelsea or Luton or whoever. You have to turn up, and that's how you beat teams and put them to the sword. The performance, to be frank, was the worst performance we've seen this season, and probably one of the worst performances we've seen in a long time. It was pathetic. It was awful. We were garbage, and yet somehow, I don't know how to feel about being from 2-0 down and nicking 2 goals at the end in order to still be unbeaten some way, shape or form, and in order to sort of, obviously the title race is still in our hands, so it doesn't really matter. We didn't lose, so that's the most important thing. But I'm so angry as to how we turned up to Stamford Bridge the way we did. And, not even took Chelsea for mugs, but just a case of we didn't even arrive at the venue. The ones there. And Chelsea playing football seemed to be playing good football for the first, hour, 70 minutes. And it's wait, just a damn minute. Do you not remember who the hell we are? And bear in mind, it says, the only credit I'll give Arsenal is they don't know when they're beaten. They don't know when to give up, because 2-0 down at Stamford Bridge in the 75th minute, you shut down shop. And Pochettino probably thought the same thing, hence his substitutions, where he took off probably the best players that were on the field for his side at the time, and thought this game was over and done with. We had to get some luck in one of the goals, and then in the other one, it was a case of back to normal Arsenal when we have the possession and start dissecting teams. The performance was pathetic. I mean, there's no getting away from it. And I'm sick of this. I'm just sick to death with the lack of fluidity that we've got in this side. I don't get why we're not last year's Arsenal. Why?
I think Chelsea were good.
It took 12 minutes for somebody to actually acknowledge the better team in the game. Thank you very much.
I was literally going to say, because I think when did we score the goal? Around 77 minutes.
Something like that, yeah.
The majority of the game, Chelsea were the better team, and it wasn't even close. I don't think, I think actually you were better in the Liverpool game for the kind of in terms of football, but it swings and roundabouts. But I think Chelsea were predominantly the better team. Majority of their players played well. I would say from the midfield, I don't think Enzo and Caicedo were great, but Gallagher was fantastic. Gallagher? Yes, Gallagher was fantastic. I think Palmer was brilliant, and I still don't. When Chelsea signed him, I was annoyed at City. So I don't understand why they would sell him to Chelsea, because that doesn't make sense. The talent that I've seen from him, it made no sense as to why he was sold to Chelsea. But he showed it. Obviously, he got subbed because he's a bit young, playing 90 minutes here, there, and to be honest, from 2-0 and the way you're playing, it should have been a win. So I understood the subs. I think when some Chelsea fans were doing the whole Pochettino, this is your fault. Based on the balance of the game, taking off the Sterling and Palmer, it made sense. There was literally no real danger, so it didn't really. I literally wasn't thinking anything from that. I think Mudryk, if he didn't score the goal, it would have been another Mudryk performance that he's been doing. But it's fair to him. He needs a goal. It is what it is. Same thing happened when we beat Chelsea at home in COVID. Osaka scored that goal, but you take it. Sometimes you need that stuff to kind of run it, and it goes with that. I think he played as he pretty much has been the entire season. Nothing special. But he got the goals. There's those kind of things that happen. I think the defense was good. I think Cucurella did very well against Saka until he didn't. I think Gusto was very good until he wasn't.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Mudrik's goal was a howler from Raya?
I think he was involved in it. Because I think a lot of people wonder those things because it was a fluke goal, and it was. So this can happen. But I also think Raya's positioning was bad. I've seen things happen like that before, where keepers, they kind of scramble, but they're kind of decent enough place that they just kind of like tip it over the side, over the top of the bar. I don't think Raya covered himself in glory for that. I think it was poor for it. And also think it was poor the entire game. I think because people are going to do it because when he passed the corner and then saved it, and then because he did the whole thing with Jackson when he just kind of stopped. Jackson was, I give that as more Jackson's being an idiot as opposed to Raya being good in that situation personally, because Jackson stood there and the opportunity to chip him was there. He did nothing.
He's an idiot. You're right.
So that's how I look at it anyway. I think Raya was poor. I think he kind of tried to attempt to recover it, but recovery doesn't make up for the nonsense he did for the rest of the game. So I don't rate. I've been very consistent on the fact that I think Raya is no different to Ramsdale, who's just Spanish. And he's shorter. So in my opinion, he's worse. Because I don't like short keepers. He's 6 foot barely. Why are you shorter than my centre back?
Never understood it. Because the past 2 weeks, not just last week, the week before, I've had to listen to Peter lamenting. I've had to read the comments of Nath and Mirad telling me that my team is going to get battered, that we didn't stand a chance against this Arsenal side. And I told all of you, it's not going to be easy. And I didn't think you was coming to Stamford Bridge and winning. And the fact that you guys have come here and spoke at length without even giving Chelsea a semblance of credit. You sat here and spoke about how bad you were rather than speaking about how Chelsea nullified you. You're sitting here talking about Jorginho. Talk about the fact that Conor Gallagher was the best midfielder on the pitch. And that's why Jorginho looked a mess.
And he was free. There was 300 million pound midfielders and the best was a common boy. Speak on it.
Facts. And that's against my own midfielders too. But Conor Gallagher was the best midfielder on the pitch. Yeah. And that's in a defensive way, in a closing down, and in an attacking way. He actually created chances in this game, which some of the other midfielders didn't do. And we'll talk about those guys later. But we're going to talk about Lola. You mentioned Cucurella. I'm sorry, Saka did nothing in this game for 80 minutes because Cucurella had him padlocked. We saw no creativity from Saka at all. Nothing. All we got was try to beat him, pass back. Try to beat him, pass back.
Football's 90 minutes. It's not 70.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The state of play. We know the score ended 2-2. We know Saka got his assist. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm just talking about the state of play of the game. And I don't really understand why you, Peter, and David are both coming here talking about how bad Arsenal are.
Shall I tell you why? Because
Chelsea turned up and put in a performance that was very similar to the performances that we've been putting in all season. That's great. Exactly. That's great. No, but it's not great because before
you got a draw because we were pathetic. Just deep that. Just have that. That's not the case. That's your opinion, and here's my opinion. I know my team. I watch my team play every single week, and what I saw from them wasn't them on Saturday. I watched them. I see it back on Saturday, and it wasn't Arsenal. And when Arsenal finally kicked into gear, guess what? We drew 2-2. So make of that what you will. Make of that what you will.
At the beginning of the pod, you spoke about snatching a point from the draw.
Yeah, we robbed you. We did rob you.
You did a similar thing when you played United at the Emirates, and you played bang average when you played Spurs at the Emirates as well. This has been Arsenal. This has been what you have been on.
The difference between Spurs and frigging Man United and then Chelsea. Chelsea, we actually robbed Chelsea. We didn't rob Man United. We didn't rob Spurs.
Why did you rob us? Because we were good. That's the only difference in those games.
And you were good because we were dead.
No.
If we were good, you're not winning this game. And guess what? You didn't win it anyway. And you didn't win it anyway.
You couldn't be good because your players were nullified by our system.
Oscar, it's one thing being nullified. It's another thing actually being poor. Arsenal were poor. If you don't think we were poor, hold tight. You go believe in your Chelsea delusion. That's fine. Arsenal were awful. They were awful, and that's why we got away with a draw that on Saturday.
Players like Odegaard were very poor. Yeah.
All of them were. Name them all.
Players like Saka got padlocked by Cucurella. That's what it was.
Players so one was poor, one got padlocked. Which one is it then? Oh, yes, okay. So it wasn't that they were both poor because we've seen Saka's been doubled up before. Saka's been doubled up before by defenders, by players, and he still gets away with a goal and assist or creating chances.
Does that mean he played well throughout the game?
What I'm saying is he was poor on Saturday. None of those players can actually walk away. Maybe Martinelli's a good shout from Lola. Nobody can walk away with their head held high because at the end of the day, we rocked up and we turned up to the crib And you know, 2/3 of the game we were awful.